Fundada en 1899, AM Best es reconocida por la industria financiera como la única organización internacional calificadora de crédito con un enfoque exclusivamente dedicado a la industria aseguradora y a las operaciones de mercados de capitales vinculados con el seguro. Las calificaciones crediticias de Best son un punto de referencia que ayuda a la industria financiera y a los consumidores a evaluar la fortaleza financiera, la solvencia y la capacidad de una aseguradora para hacer frente a sus obligaciones. La transparencia metodológica, así como el proceso interactivo de calificación de crédito de Best, implica una profunda interacción entre la compañía calificada y nuestro equipo analítico, a fin de realizar un análisis exhaustivo de la fortaleza del balance, el desempeño operativo y el perfil de negocio. Como el proveedor líder mundial de calificaciones de solidez financiera para las aseguradoras, AM Best es también una fuente confiable de información y datos del mercado de seguros. Nuestros recursos analíticos, liderazgo de opinión y cobertura de noticias ayudan a las aseguradoras, a los corredores, a los consumidores y a la industria financiera a tomar decisiones comerciales más informadas.
The segment that will follow will be transmitted through streaming. You can connect to the Fasecolda website, and then you could find the main banner that will take you to the transmission link. And we are already connected by streaming. We want to greet all those that are connected with us, and we want to thank you for your interest in the academic event for the insurance industry. In Colombia, we have the mandatory insurance, and we have a voluntary vehicle insurance and insurance for those that work driving a car. This coverage contributes for the equity protection and the recovery of individuals affected by these accidents. At the same time, it provides a source of data that is very important for the design of public policies with respect to road safety. Our figures show that in 2017, 7,600 people died and more than 600,000 victims in car accidents. So this is a public health problem issue for the country, and we will analyze this. We want to welcome first the Vice Minister of Health and Social Protection, Mr. Gonzalez, who will be talking about the road accident rate as a public challenge for the country. We want also to greet Natalia Sanz. She's a specialist of transportation of DIDB, and Mrs. Gomez, who is also in charge of the National Road Safety Agency. Welcome, everyone. Mr. Botero, thank you, and greetings from the Minister, Mr. Varela, Angela, that was around here, Ingrid, that helped us with all these topics, and special greetings, of course, to Mrs. Hilda and Natalia. The idea is to be able to share with you some minutes to talk about a public health phenomenon, which is the road accident rate. We want to change the word accident by incident. That will be the first message, because incidents may be prevented. Accidents are less preventable. So there is a concept that we want to change, and let's talk about incidents to see how can we reduce the incidence of a problem that is a public health issue. President Duque requests us to work around three axes, main axes, and you have heard about this many times, and that is legality, entrepreneurship, and equality. In health, particularly, we have challenges in each one of the dimensions, but Minister Uribe has developed 5 strategic axes around which they want to transform health and to offer health. They want to build a long-term vision. If in this audience we will have white papers so that each one of you could give us a vision about the health system, I'm sure that everyone will give us something, but we will not find 2 or 3 that will be the same, because each Colombian, each trade association, each stakeholder has a vision about the health system. And we need a health system where we can all fit, that will be sustainable, and that will help us improving health of the population. The second challenge that the minister wants to develop is to return the system and service provision and insurance, to return the quality as a goal and as a destination. Colombia made a great effort to achieve a coverage that surpassed 95%. Of every 100 Colombians, 95 have a health insurance covering many things. But in that rush to increase coverage, we have focused on variables of cost, efficiency, and we are leaving aside the quality of the service provision. I'm sure that when you have been patients, when your relatives have been patients, you do not think about coverage or cost or efficiency. The only thing that you are interested is in the quality that you are having. This is what we want to underscore. Third, and in the heart of this strategy, and in the following 30 minutes, I'm going to try to talk about public health. Public health as a main goal of the health system. We are somewhat confused as country, as a society. When we talk about health, we end up talking about money. And when we talk about health, we have for weeks or years, we have been talking about money. So for that reason, with the approval of Mr. Botero, I said that I'm going to talk about a little bit about money, and I want to focus on health. Fourth, human talent. Human talent in health is a necessary talent, and it's part of the country's development. Without health, there is no development. When somebody loses health, you want to find a nurse, a physician that will help you recover in your health. And human talent, we are leaving it also aside. We're so focused in the money, and we are all concentrated in putting in the public agenda a little piece, and 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is always a physician, a nurse waiting for a patient with an accident or a heart attack or wounded. They are always there, and they get everything. They get the pressure of the system. They get the anguish of people that have not received response of the system. They have the delays. The only thing they are not getting is the salary, because that takes some time to get. We have to redignify human talent. We need to stop, and we have to thank the doctors, the nurses, the therapists, all the professions, technicians, that every day during the last 200 years they have been taking care of the health of Colombians. And finally, and not the less important, the financial sustainability. It's not that we do not want to talk about money. The minister has said that that is relevant, but if you want to talk about money, you have to talk about vision, quality, public health, and human talent. If we keep looking for money in the money, and we do not improve health, if we do not provide better governance to those that provide the service, we will never solve the money issue. The minister requested us to work, and we're working on that, in returning the health to health. And we're working on that. After making this introduction, I'm going to go very quickly, and I know that you know the 3 following slides by heart. I just want to underscore here that the World Health Organization have stated that this is a pandemic at global level. It is a serious public health problem, and it has multiple interventions for management of the safety of roads and mobility around the insurance, the users, and also it is important for us the answer after accidents. It should be a comprehensive response. We also have the goals of sustainable development, where there are two that I would like to align to number 3, which is health and well-being, and the communities and sustainable cities and communities to avoid the death in different ages, to reduce traffic accidents. The figures that we want to share with you were, Carlos, we still have a challenge for alignment purposes, but anyone that we use, they both show dramatic figures which are challenging and somewhat it's an anguish for us. But in inclusive and safe cities, in the planning of human settlements, reducing the negative environmental impact, and everything that has to do with social determining factors. There are 2 commitments that we wanted to present. The reduction of the Road Safety Agency, and today Dr. Hilda is leading this, and Minister Angela Maria, and we want to develop with them a partnership without borders between the Ministry of Health and the Road Safety Agency. We will have no borders. For that, we have high-level entities in the state, so we can articulate the problems that are divided in different sectors. And we want to underscore the agency work from any standpoint. The only thing that is of interest for us, that everything that we will be supporting will show that at the end, the dramatic statistics of these will have a positive trend. In the traffic incident overview, these are some older figures. We're working with the vital statistics from Danny, and we want to tell you that we had 7,355 cases in 2016. What you see in red are the Colombian states where the rate per 100,000 inhabitants surpasses 15, which is the national average. There are many states in red. If we go to the right-hand side, we see the case of motorcycles. Motorcycles are around 50% of road incidents. They have many deaths, many wounded, and permanent disability. So we also have the pedestrians and cyclists. We have some stabilization in the last ones. The trends show that we had this stabilization, but look at what is happening with the motorcycles. And I would like to convey a message here. I don't know how many of you live in large cities. I think that many of you live in large cities, but it's a landscape now. It's common landscape to get to the office. Oh, I'm sorry, there was a motorcycle accident. And you see 2 or 3 every day. Motorcycle on the next to the car and the ambulance. And we are used to that. I mean, the family that lost a parent, or the family that lost a mother, the family that had a permanent disability, they will never get used to that. That for us, it's a normal landscape to see the motorcycles below a car. There is a war on the streets. There is a chain that goes down because of the size of the pedestrian, the cyclists, and the motorcycles are at the end of that chain. We have to be careful respecting the life on the roads. These figures just ratify the only meaning of being here. This is a public health issue. I want to underscore some additional elements. We have had 89,000 people diseased in the last 13 years. And just to give you an example, if you see the map on the right-hand side, that is the Boyacá state. People that helped me preparing this presentation, Joanna, Adriana, my team, Mr. Harold at the prevention department, let's give figures. Only in the year 2017, it's like we have lost the whole municipality of Sobata. 6,700 people died. A municipality of 7,000 people lost. I mean, it's for you to have a figure. We lost 6,700 people. I mean, that is a public health issue. Every day, 19 people die. 10 of them are in a motorcycle. This is the landscape we cannot be used to. That is the landscape we need to erase. This is we need to stop. Every time the motorcycles go in front of your car, and you have to remember these statistics. Every time you see them doing silly things, you have to remember the statistics. Every time we feel powerful behind the wheel of a car, you have to remember this statistic. 19 people die every day. This means that when we will end this panel, there will be another person dead. And when you will end tomorrow, 18 people will die in roads. Accidents. I don't want to sound dramatic. I just want to talk about public health. And this is public health. This is lack of development. Who is dying? 40% of people are young people and adults. In other words, people that have their life ahead of them. The health is development. If young people and adults, a whole municipality in Colombia is lost, and 50% are people that are capable to work. As a country, we're losing many opportunities and years of healthy life. But I want to close with this slide where it is the first cause of death in children between 5 and 14 years of age. In Colombia, road accident is the first cause of death for these small. I have 2 children, so I'm terrified. You have many children or nieces or nephew, you have to take care of them. The agencies is trying to strengthen children transportation. If you are terrified by that, this is the second cause of death between 15 and 44 years of age. So every day when I was getting here, we were talking to reinforce vaccination campaigns in small children, because we have some problems about diseases that may be prevented. Good morning. I am greeting the head table there. When we see this, I say, when have we made relevant that the second cause of death in adults between 14 to 44 years is road accidents? If you take from 5 to 44, we have so many deaths that are not incidents, that are not accidents. These are incidents that may be prevented if we work together. That's why the Minister Uribe's decision is that we do not want borders with the agency. We need to give the leadership to the agency so they can articulate education, transportation, health, the production of safety input, so we can do this, because we cannot vaccine the children if when they are 5 years old they will fall from a motorcycle or they will have a car accident and they will die. So let's work together as a society. Here we have the injuries for traffic incidents. We have focused on mortality in the first phase, which is dramatic. A municipality may be lost of mortality because of road accidents. But now let's talk about wounded. Look at the overview. We have, for every 17 deaths, we have 100 people that are injured every day. So Mrs. Hilda will talk about this, but the volume of permanent disability because of traffic accidents may be more than 15,000 people. 15,000 people with permanent disability. Half of a stadium is permanently with a permanent disability because of a car accident. This is the data. See here, 1,500 children, 20,000 young people, 13,000 adults, and 4,000 elderly. This is dramatic in terms of health, in the burden for emergency services, dramatic in financial claims derived from it. The size of a injured, it's not a municipality, it's a middle-sized city of Colombia. Imagine a whole city, the one you want, I mean, of 600,000 inhabitants. We lose a municipality in Colombia because of mortality, and we have a city of 600,000 people injured every year. That is a public health issue. Of the 113 people that are injured every day, 63 are motorcycles, 23 pedestrians. The motorcycle, this is a landscape that we do not want to have it as a normal landscape. We want to understand this as a public health issue. Do not see an accident or incident. Look at a problem, a public health problem on the street. I told you that at the end of this conference we were going to have one person that died. When we will have 5 more injured people, and 2 of them will have a permanent injury for their life. People that started working today, they say goodbye, and tonight it's not going to be the same in their life. This is the public health issue. I would like to stop with respect to the conceptual framework, because the work we carry out with FASECOLDA is of paramount importance, and we will add to other work that will be developed with the agency so we can have just one effort about these issues. There are 3 relevant issues that are we have the statistical issue. Colombia has a theme that has been promoted and led by you with the ministry and with many other stakeholders, and this is serious. I am not an expert in this topic, but I understand that this is a regional and global jewel. We have a bet there. We need to continue working so we will have better statistics. But we can get to a level of detail that is quite surprising, but we need to keep working on that. The second topic in the agenda is a topic associated with SOAT, which is the mandatory insurance. I just want to talk about the evasion. Besides having a public health issue, we are short with respect to resources we need. There is no technical node that will support this thing going up. I mean, whether we work together here or we will have to start we will have to acknowledge the difficulties that we had on the financial side. And finally, the last topic of this agenda, it has been also mentioned with Mrs. Hilda, with Tavo, with Eduardo and the whole team, that today we saw that it's going to be strengthened.
Is that, sadly enough, and we have to say it with clarity, road incident rate has become a business in Colombia. On the streets, there are wars to take ambulances to specific places. And we've seen many of those cases, and that's not ethical, that's not healthy. Those entities with more capability to take care of a person with an important trauma is waiting because they are not participating in that battle for the penny. And at the same time, we see that unknown entities become famous. They flourish, entities that are not accredited. And that is where injured people get there, because there's more money for those making decisions. This is nothing new. It's not a claim. There are processes, legal processes around that, but that's a commitment we have, and that is that we have to redefine the service networks for our injured people. We have to set quality criteria in order for people to get to the best place that they could be taken care of, and people continue with their drama. So 3 important items of the agenda, and also a service network for this topic on road accident rate. I would like to talk about the conceptual framework. We want to talk about a healthy strategy. Hopefully, we'll have people more active in their displacements, in their movements. And I've been somewhat critical regarding this point and regarding some of these elements, and that is that sometimes we do not want to acknowledge the problem of motorcycles as a public health problem. And so, I mean, sometimes we have the environmental part, but as a safety strategy, we cannot lose sight of the motorcycle problems. We want to have a healthy mobility. We want for it to be safe, to be sustainable. There is a work system, and I do not see quite a base there. But, for example, the minister has wanted to remove frontiers. That's why we want a joint agenda where Fasecolda will always have a seat. Hence, we can get to the problems at the urban scope and also at the rural scope. It is important to work in areas of health and communication. It is important to work in the area of communication. We have to make this visible. And hopefully by the end of this presentation, you will recall these topics, that every year we lose a municipality of 7,000 people, and that every year we have 600,000 people with a disability because of these accidents. We have to develop a process around this, and this process is going to be led by the agency, not only on the streets where the accidents take place, but even after that, a follow-up with all the psychological, economic, educational processes that are needed to recover from a situation such as this one. And in coming days, we are launching a campaign that aims at reaching territorial entities where accident rates, where this problem of public health is dramatic, where absolute figures are dramatic, even though they are diluted amongst a large population. We want to reach the country with different types of interventions. We want to strengthen articulation processes. We want to have those intersectoral tables. This is an intersectoral work to strengthen communication campaigns, to consolidate the strategy, to exchange information in order to improve our statistics, and to work around the topic of boys and girls that are the main victims. So I wanted to close by highlighting the effort. And as I told Hilda this morning, now we have another boss, the president, the minister, and Hilda, who's going to lead this effort. I want to thank you once again for this opportunity to address you. And I would like to highlight the road accidents are a problem of public health.
Fundada en 1899, AM Best es reconocida por la industria financiera como la única organización internacional calificadora de crédito con un enfoque exclusivamente dedicado a la industria aseguradora y a las operaciones de mercados de capitales vinculados con el seguro. Las calificaciones crediticias de Best son un punto de referencia que ayuda a la industria financiera y a los consumidores a evaluar la fortaleza financiera, la solvencia y la capacidad de una aseguradora para hacer frente a sus obligaciones. La transparencia metodológica, así como el proceso interactivo de calificación de crédito de Best, implica una profunda interacción entre la compañía calificada y nuestro equipo analítico, a fin de realizar un análisis exhaustivo de la fortaleza del balance, el desempeño operativo y el perfil de negocio. Como el proveedor líder mundial de calificaciones de solidez financiera para las aseguradoras, AM Best es también una fuente confiable de información y datos del mercado de seguros. Nuestros recursos analíticos, liderazgo de opinión y cobertura de noticias ayudan a las aseguradoras, a los corredores, a los consumidores y a la industria financiera a tomar decisiones comerciales más informadas.